Hello everybody, this is Goji73 here with a figure review. Now that the Y-MSF Gorosaurus has been reviewed and put out of the way, here is the next figure I got from my vinyl buys. And so, let's pull him out. It is another Y-MSF figure, might I add. Ebirah, from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to put my camera down here because he is kind of a tiny monster. So, anyway, let's get started with his history. Ebirah only appeared in two films, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster and Godzilla Final Wars. This version, however, you're looking at is the Showa version, which appears in the Sea Monster. As far as history goes, he was a monster who was recruited or captured by the Red Bamboo, a terrorist organization, who uses him as his weapon to keep the enslaved people of Infant Island on their island to be kept as slaves, to create a berry juice of some sort that keeps Ebirah from killing them and uses it as their weapon, as well as other slave labor operations, which is what I'm guessing. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but that's about the main gist of it. However, Ebirah's role is that he eats the slaves that appears on the island when they try to escape. So, when one of the heroes and his brother attempt to flee from the island, Ebirah attacks them, only for the sea monster to be confronted by none other than Godzilla, who battles him on the shore of the island in which the movie takes place in. Godzilla manages to frighten off Ebirah, and later on, when the Red Bamboo attempts to recruit Ebirah to fight Godzilla again, Ebirah attacks them because they got the wrong type of juice, and Godzilla winds up fighting him again. Both monsters engage in battle, and ultimately, Godzilla tears off Ebirah's claws, and Ebirah goes into retreat, never to appear again. And that just about does it for history, but at the same time, because I don't have a figure of the Final Wars Ebirah, and I don't know if I'll ever get one, I'll just quickly go over that version as well. Ebirah appears as one of the monsters who attacks Earth, and he's confronted by the mutants, who are recruited by the Defense Force to fight for them, and they wind up working together to defeat Ebirah, in pretty much an action hero style. But then Ebirah gets beamed up by the Exilians, and later held in captivity until the Exilians' plans are foiled, in which Ebirah is released again. However, he is not seen again until he is confronted by Godzilla, where he and Hedorah are defeated by Godzilla. And so that just about does it for Ebirah's history. Now moving the camera back up here, because it's time to move on to detail. Much like the other Y-MSF figures, Ebirah is actually really nicely captured here. The texturing of the figure is very nicely done. Everything on here looks really nicely done as well. I should also mention that in true Y-MSF style, there is more than one variation of Ebirah. The one you're looking at is the first release version, I believe, or however it's named. But anyways, of the two differences between the design, this Ebirah has a straight tail, whereas the other one has a tail that's swooped up. So that's the other variation. However, I picked up this one because it was on hand. I didn't know when the other one would come out, and I thought there was a little design difference between the two, but that's the only one, so I wound up going with this one instead. And of the two, this one looks really nice. Everything on here is very nicely captured. Only real thing I don't quite understand is this gray paint that goes down his back and tail like that, because I don't believe he has that in his original appearance. But apart from that, I think that's just about it for detail. Everything else is nicely captured except for that big white stripe. Now, as far as superpowers goes, Ebirah is 100% melee monster. He has no superpowers. Now, as far as articulation goes, though, he actually does have quite a few, in fact. Both of his claws move 360 degrees, or as much as they can without intersecting with their legs down here. And the tail also rotates 360 as well. So 3 points, pretty basic, but also pretty surprising since Ebirah is a giant lobster. And I'm going to move him over to the side here, because now it's time for sizing. And because I do have the incarnation of Godzilla that he fights in the film, let's pull him out. The 1965 Godzilla. And as you can see here, if I put them head to head like how they appear in the movie in which they fight in, I'd say this looks pretty nicely captured. Ebirah looks like he's in scale with Godzilla. Like if you put Godzilla with him biting his claw, it looks like about the same size in which it looks in the movie. So overall, sizing here, like even if I had to put Ebirah down here as well, I'd say he's about this size as well if he were like on all of his legs. So I'd say sizing is pretty nicely captured here. And while he wasn't really paired up with this monster, save for like one appearance, and that was Final Wars, let's pull him out just for the heck of it. Hedorah. And much like how they looked in the movie when Ebirah accidentally stabs his eye, I'd say it looks pretty accurate because they're side to side like this at one point, and they actually look like how they would look if they were in scale. So, yeah, scaling between even these two is actually pretty nicely captured here too. And so that just about does it for this review. History, he appears in 2 films. Detailing on him is really nicely captured. Still not too sure about the white stripe though. Articulation is pretty basic, and sizing is nicely captured. So overall, I have to give this figure a 9 out of 10. And I give it that score because, again, surprising amount of articulation, nice sizing, nice capturing of detail, but the white stripe, again, looks very odd, and I really don't recall him actually having it in the film as well. Could be water or water effect, but I don't think so. And so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. That's it for today's figure review. If you like what you see, or what I make, and wish to support me and help me create content faster or more efficiently, you can help me by supporting me on Patreon, and possibly get a video of your own made for you, or win several other prizes. You can also help me by supporting me here on YouTube, as well as Facebook and Twitter for anything else I may make in the future. And so that's it. I'll see you all next time.